There comes a point in every life when silence becomes unbearable. A point where the soul grows restless, not because of what's happening around you, but because of what's not happening within you. You wake up one morning and realize that you've been moving, but not advancing. Working, but not progressing. Living, but not truly alive. And in that quiet hour, when the noise of the world fades and you're left with nothing but your thoughts, one truth echoes louder than the rest. You have no direction. You've been walking in circles, chasing distractions, mistaking motion for progress. And the world around you, loud, relentless, seductive, has taught you to believe that this is normal. But it is not. The greatest tragedy in life is not death. It's to live without a definite purpose. Every soul born into this world is given a spark, a seed of greatness. But that seed doesn't grow by accident. It demands direction. It demands clarity. It demands the discipline to aim your life at something so precise, so powerful, that every thought, every action, every breath begins to move toward it. This is the foundation of all success. This is what Napoleon Hill called a definite major purpose. And without it, even the most talented, intelligent, and gifted people drift like ships with broken rudders, pushed wherever the tide decides to take them. The difference between a drifter and a creator is purpose. Purpose turns mere existence into destiny. It transforms wandering into mastery. Look through history and you'll see it. Edison wasn't just experimenting with filaments. He was on a mission to bring light to the world. Henry Ford wasn't simply assembling cars. He was fulfilling a vision to make motion accessible to every man and woman. Andrew Carnegie didn't accumulate steel. He forged an empire with an iron will, built on a burning purpose to uplift industry and humanity together. And Walt Disney, he didn't draw cartoons. He drew worlds. Worlds that lived inside his mind long before they appeared on a canvas. Every great achievement you've ever admired began with one decision, a mind consumed by a single, definite aim. But let's talk about the other side, the forgotten millions. The ones who wake up, go to work, come home, sleep, and repeat. Not because they lack ambition, but because they never stopped to define what their ambition was for. They let the world decide their purpose for them. They let circumstance, comparison, and convenience dictate their direction. And so, they spend decades climbing ladders that lean against the wrong walls. They wonder why they feel empty, why success feels hollow, why money feels meaningless, why comfort never leads to peace. It's because purpose cannot be substituted with possessions. A paycheck is not a purpose. A title is not a mission. Comfort is not fulfillment. There's a spiritual law in this universe. Call it divine order, call it cosmic design, call it what you will. A man without a definite purpose is like a leaf in the wind. He moves, but he never arrives. But the moment you decide, truly decide, on a purpose so strong it burns within your soul, everything changes. Your mind reorganizes itself. Your thoughts begin to align like soldiers preparing for battle. Your energy, your focus, your willpower, all begin to serve a single master, your vision. And here's the truth most never understand. The world doesn't give power to those who wish. It gives power to those who decide. When you possess a definite purpose, your words carry weight, your actions gain force, and your presence commands respect, not because you demand it, but because you radiate conviction. People can feel when someone knows where they're going. You can't fake it. You can't manufacture it. You either have it or you don't. The purpose-driven mind sees opportunities where others see obstacles. When Thomas Edison's lab burned to the ground, he didn't see ruin. He saw renewal. He rebuilt it better, faster, stronger, because his purpose wasn't destroyed in the fire. When Abraham Lincoln faced defeat after defeat, he didn't quit. He couldn't. His mission was greater than his pain. When Henry Ford was told it couldn't be done, that cars were a luxury for the rich, he smiled and kept building, because his purpose wasn't dependent on approval, it was fueled by vision. And what about you? What vision has been buried beneath your excuses? What dream have you silenced because you've convinced yourself it's too late, too hard, or too unrealistic? The truth is, life isn't testing your dream. It's testing you. It's testing how badly you want it, how deeply you believe in it, and how willing you are to align every part of yourself toward its realization. Without purpose, the mind decays. It becomes restless, chaotic, unfocused. It jumps from one distraction to another, always searching for something to fill the emptiness, but never finding it. That's why most people live in a constant fog. They're tired, not because they've done too much, but because they've done too little of what truly matters. But when you wake up each morning knowing exactly why you're alive, fatigue turns to fire. You stop seeking permission. You stop asking, what if? And start saying, I will. Your days take on meaning. Your effort becomes sacred. Discipline stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like progress. Obstacles stop feeling like barriers and start feeling like teachers. Failure stops being final and becomes fuel. Understand this. A definite purpose is not just about goals, it's about identity. It's the difference between saying, I want to write a book, and saying, I am a writer. It's not about external achievements, it's about internal alignment. When your purpose is clear, your identity expands to match it. You begin to speak differently, think differently, walk differently, and people can sense it. They can feel the quiet confidence of someone who knows where they're going, even if they're not there yet. That's the magnetic power of purpose. It draws resources, people, and opportunities into your orbit. It aligns you with the flow of creation itself. But the price of living without one is everything. Confusion, doubt, regret, emptiness, a life half-lived, a heart that beats but never burns. Look around. How many people do you know who live each day on autopilot? They wake, work, and waste time waiting for something miraculous to happen, but miracles don't visit the undecided. The world bends for those who bend themselves toward a cause. The universe rearranges for those who stand firm on purpose. Every great movement began with one soul who refused to drift. One person who said, this is what I will do with my life, no matter what it costs. Because make no mistake, purpose has a price. It demands sacrifice. It demands focus. It demands that you let go of comfort, convenience, and sometimes, company. Not everyone will understand you when you move with purpose. Not everyone will applaud you when you start saying no to things that don't align with your mission. But purpose isn't about being liked, it's about being true. If you wish to awaken the giant within you, stop waiting for clarity and decide. Decision is the spark that ignites destiny. The moment you commit to a single, burning purpose, you awaken forces inside you that you never knew existed. The world will test you. It will throw distractions in your path, tempt you with comfort, and whisper, settle. But don't, because purpose is not found in ease, it's forged in challenge. You will face moments when nothing seems to work, when your progress feels invisible, when your belief begins to tremble. Those are the moments that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. Stay the course. Keep your eyes on the aim. Because every setback is sculpting the strength required for your purpose. The mind that knows where it's going cannot be defeated for long. Even when knocked down, it rises. Even when delayed, it persists. That's the secret of every empire, invention, and revolution. Carnegie said, the man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled. That ability begins with one act, defining a purpose so clear that doubt can't penetrate it. Once you have that, you're no longer working for something, you're working through something. Your purpose becomes the channel through which your soul expresses itself. And in that flow, nothing feels wasted. You were not created to drift. You were not born to merely survive. You were designed to create, to lead, to manifest, to give your life a direction so precise that even the storms of life can't steer you off course. You are the architect of your destiny. And until you decide the blueprint, you will continue to build someone else's dream. So ask yourself, what do I want my life to stand for? What impact do I want my existence to make? What would I do if fear had no vote? Because in the end, the only real failure is to never decide. The only true defeat is to live and die without ever discovering what you were meant to do. You don't need permission to begin. You don't need applause to continue. All you need is a purpose worth suffering for. Because once you have that, you stop running from challenges. You start running toward destiny. And the world, the same world that ignored you before, begins to notice. Not because you sought validation, but because your purpose made you impossible to ignore. Discipline. That word alone separates those who live with purpose from those who merely wish they did. Purpose without discipline is like a fire without oxygen. It flickers, it glows, and then it dies. Every man or woman who has ever accomplished something extraordinary learned that discipline is not a restriction. It is liberation. It is the daily choice to serve your higher vision rather than your lower impulses. It's the moment you wake up when the alarm rings and your mind says, 5 more minutes, but your purpose whispers, get up, this is who we are. You see, most people never fail because they're incapable. They fail because they cannot remain loyal to their purpose in moments of discomfort. They let emotion dictate action instead of letting purpose dictate direction. But the disciplined mind understands that emotion is temporary, and purpose is eternal. Think of the greats. Think of Edison, who performed over 10,000 experiments before the world saw light. Do you think he felt motivated every day? No, he was driven by something deeper, a commitment that transcended mood and fatigue. He didn't chase motivation, he cultivated momentum. And that's what discipline does, it builds momentum. It turns the abstract into the inevitable. Every act of consistency is a message to the universe that says, I mean this. I will not quit. I will not negotiate with my dream. The weak search for balance. The strong create harmony. They align their actions so completely with their purpose that even rest becomes a part of their mission. They don't escape their goals. They recover for them. They don't take breaks from purpose. They breathe purpose into every pause. And here's a truth you must accept. Discipline is not natural, it's forged. It's built through repetition, through struggle, through the 1,000 tiny moments when no one's watching and everything in you wants to stop. It's the artist who paints after midnight when no gallery has called. It's the entrepreneur who studies while the world sleeps. It's the athlete training in the rain, alone, with no crowd to cheer. Those moments, invisible, uncelebrated, painful, are the seeds of greatness. Because the universe rewards those who persist beyond sight. When you can't see progress, but you act anyway, you are proving your faith. When you can't hear applause, but you continue, you are proving your belief. And faith, expressed through discipline, creates miracles. But purpose will also test you. It will demand your resilience. It will not reveal its full reward until you've proven that you can endure the weight of it. Because purpose without resilience is fantasy. Anyone can dream of success when life is smooth, but it takes a warrior to dream when everything falls apart. Resilience is not just the ability to recover, it's the ability to remain, to stay loyal to your vision in seasons of uncertainty. When the plan fails, when the support disappears, when your confidence wavers, resilience whispers, keep going. It is the fire in the heart of every builder who has watched their creation crumble, and decided to build again. It is the spirit that guided Lincoln through defeat after defeat until the presidency became inevitable. It is the patience of Disney, who faced bankruptcy, rejection, and humiliation, yet still believed in the magic of his vision. Resilience is not about avoiding pain, it's about mastering it. Because pain is the price of growth, and growth is the companion of purpose. Every obstacle in your path exists to develop the qualities your purpose requires. Without resistance, you would never discover your strength. Without opposition, you would never awaken your power. The storm is not here to destroy you, it is here to prepare you. Every challenge is sculpting your character, sharpening your focus, and deepening your belief. The stronger the storm, the clearer your direction becomes. So, when life challenges you, don't ask, why is this happening to me? Ask, what part of me is this shaping? Because purpose doesn't protect you from pain, it gives your pain a meaning. It transforms suffering into fuel. It turns wounds into wisdom. The man who understands this becomes unstoppable, because he no longer fights the process, he trusts it. He knows that every delay, every detour, every defeat is not a denial but a design. That even rejection is redirection. But there's another dimension of purpose that few speak about. Gratitude. Gratitude is not passive thankfulness, it is spiritual alignment. It is the recognition that every step on the journey, even the painful ones, is part of your becoming. It's what turns struggle into sacredness. A man who practices gratitude does not curse his challenges, he blesses them. He says, thank you, to the obstacles that refined him, to the failures that taught him, to the losses that humbled him. Because gratitude doesn't make life easier, it makes it richer. Carnegie once said that he owed his success to the power of a mastermind, to surrounding himself with people whose thoughts and energy matched his purpose. But he also understood that gratitude was the force that kept those minds in harmony. When you are thankful for the people, the lessons, and even the pain, you create an energy that draws more power into your life. Gratitude transforms frustration into focus. It reminds you that even the smallest progress is progress. That every day of struggle is another day closer to mastery. And then there is adaptability, the silent twin of resilience. The world will change around you. Technology, economy, relationships, trends, they will all shift. But purpose does not fear change, it evolves through it. Adaptability is the art of remaining faithful to your purpose while flexible in your method. Ford built his vision not by clinging to one idea but by adjusting his approach until his dream became reality. Edison failed thousands of times because he was willing to evolve his strategy while keeping his purpose intact. That's the mark of true wisdom. To hold your vision firmly, but your path loosely. To adapt without abandoning your mission. And finally, learning. The mind that stops learning decays, and the purpose that stops expanding dies. Every new idea, every skill, every insight strengthens your ability to serve your mission. Napoleon Hill wrote, "An educated man is not the one who has an abundance of general or specialized knowledge, but the one who has developed the ability to get anything he wants without violating the rights of others." In other words, knowledge is not accumulation, it's transformation. A mind on purpose becomes a magnet for wisdom. It studies not for entertainment, but for evolution. It reads to apply, not to impress. It learns to become, and then comes the revelation that changes everything. Purpose is not something you find. It's something you decide. You don't wait for lightning to strike, you strike the match yourself. The people who changed the world weren't chosen, they chose. They chose to believe when others doubted. They chose to act when others hesitated. They chose to persist when others surrendered. The power of a definite purpose lies in that choice, that unshakable inner decision that says, "This is who I am. This is what I will do. This is the life I will build." And when that decision is made, your destiny begins to unfold. The right people appear. The right ideas arrive. The right moments align, not by chance, but by law. Because once your mind is made up, the universe rearranges itself to serve your intention. So, look at your life. Look at every habit, every routine, every conversation, every thought. Ask yourself, does this serve my purpose or distract from it? If it distracts, remove it. If it serves, multiply it. Your time is your greatest currency, and your purpose is the only investment worth making. Stop trading it for validation, distraction, or comfort. Trade it for growth. Trade it for legacy. Trade it for your definite major aim. And remember, the price of living without purpose is regret. The cost of indecision is decay. But the reward of living with purpose is freedom. Freedom from doubt. Freedom from fear. Freedom from the noise of a world that tries to tell you who you should be. You were not born to blend in. You were born to build, to create, to lead, to prove what happens when a single human mind becomes laser-focused on a divine objective. So decide, define your purpose, and dedicate your life to it so fiercely that even your failures look like progress. Because one day, you will look back, not with regret, but with pride. You will say, "I lived deliberately. I chose my path. I gave my all." And that, my friend, is the ultimate wealth. To live and die knowing that your days were spent in service of something greater than yourself. That is the power of a definite purpose. And that is the price of living without one.